Hello, and welcome to a journey where nature and ancient memory blend into something far beyond imagination. China, where wild nature and ancient civilization blend into a thousand-year symphony. Here, every mountain, river, and stone whispers secrets lost in time. In Fenghuang, the river glides lazily beneath mossy rooftops, carrying forgotten memories with its shimmer. Then, Wangxian Valley appears, like a dream, painted by nature itself, untouched by time. Can you imagine such a place waiting quietly for your footsteps? And finally, the wraith. The Yandang Mountains take your breath away. An ancient temple clings to soaring cliffs. A narrow path, like a thread, guides you through stone and sky. In Yandang, nature doesn't just speak, it remembers. Would you walk forward or stand still, caught in awe of the eternal? Each destination is a hidden world of wonder, silently calling you to uncover its untold secrets. And now, we arrive at Gao Yiling, a rare geological wonder, shaped by millions of years of wind and time, where red sandstone has carved itself into knife-edged ridges, steep walls, and long wave-like mountains frozen in motion. From atop its 1,040-foot summit, you'll witness deep-cut valleys, forests of glowing red rock, and colours shifting with the sun, transforming the land into a surreal, ever-changing world. But Gao Yiling is more than beauty, it's intensity. Its narrow, razor-like ridges bring both fear and serenity with every step, as if the edge of danger somehow protects the purity of nature. Untouched, unspoiled, legend whispers that this place was once the resting ground of a colossal heavenly dragon, and that its immortal body hardened into these glowing red spines. And when the storms roll in, some say, you can still hear the dragon's roar, rising from the earth below. If you were there, would you dare walk the dragon's back and listen to the ancient voice of the land? In the quiet hours before dawn, as mist drapes the mountain ridge, some early morning hikers have claimed to see a soft, glowing light floating gently along the edge, like a silk ribbon dancing in mid-air with no clear source. This phenomenon is known as Longguang, the sacred dragon light, said to reveal itself only to those with pure hearts, those chosen by nature itself. And the place that witnesses this mysterious beauty is none other than Mount Emei, located in Sichuan province, China, one of the 4 sacred Buddhist mountains of China. Standing at over 10,167 feet, Mount Emei captivates not only with its majestic mountain ranges, but with its crisp mountain air and astonishing diversity of life. The landscape feels like it has been lifted from ancient scripture, with dense forests, winding mountain paths, cascading waterfalls, and ancient temples scattered like forgotten whispers across the slopes. Each step is a pilgrimage, each breath a moment of stillness between body, spirit, and sky. Amid the winding mountain slopes and ancient forests, the brightest crown of Mount Emei is the Golden Summit, a place where visitors can take in breathtaking panoramic views of the world below. Standing at this celestial height, one feels as though they're touching the edge of the earth, as misty valleys stretch endlessly beneath like oceans of cloud. But beyond the natural wonder, Mount Emei is also home to ancient jewels of faith, Baogu Temple and Wanyan Temple. sacred sanctuaries, nestled quietly among the trees, holding centuries of silent devotion. These temples are more than structures. They are symbols of the profound connection between humans and nature, between spirit and stone. Culturally, Mount Imei remains one of Buddhism's most important spiritual centers in China, a place where countless pilgrims have walked for generations, seeking peace, presence, and the timeless echo of the divine. The ancient temples and Buddhist statues here offer more than a sacred space. They embody the deep, unbreakable connection between Buddhist culture and the natural world, making this place not only spiritual, but uniquely sacred for those in search of peace and truth. And now, the journey takes us to Mount Fanjing Shan, a natural marvel located in Guizhou Province, China. Hailed as one of the most magnificent destinations for its untouched beauty and vibrant biodiversity. Towering at over 8,400 feet, Fanjing is cloaked in dense forests and limestone peaks that rise like ancient guardians into the mist, forming a landscape that feels both immense and silent, wild and wise. The surrounding scenery offers a perfect harmony between raw majesty and inner stillness. But what truly makes Fanjing extraordinary is its rare ecological soul, home to species found nowhere else on Earth. Most notably, the Guizhou snub-nosed monkey, a rare, golden creature so elusive it feels like myth come alive. Alongside it, hundreds of unique plant species thrive quietly among the cliffs and trees, turning this mountain not just into a destination, but a living sanctuary. Recognizing its irreplaceable value, UNESCO has named Mount Fanjing a World Heritage Site, a fitting honor for a place where nature, spirit, and life itself converge in timeless silence. This unique blend of untamed nature and spiritual culture makes it a perfect place for those seeking both outer beauty and inner stillness. According to legend, Mount Fanjing is the sacred ground where Maitreya Buddha attained enlightenment, a land considered pure, radiant, and untouched. This story has lived on through generations, a spiritual thread woven deeply into the cultural fabric of this region. And then, we are gently transported to another realm of memory. Phoenix Ancient Town, the hidden jewel of Hunan Province, where nature's grace meets the quiet pulse of history. Ancient wooden houses line the banks of the Tuojiang River, standing shoulder to shoulder like old souls whispering tales, while stone bridges stretch across the water, still and timeless. But perhaps what makes Phoenix truly unforgettable are the old stone streets themselves, where each step seems to echo with the rhythm of time, and every corner invites a peace modern life can no longer offer. If you're still here, perhaps you've already heard something. Leave a comment and subscribe to hear what comes next. Especially in autumn, when the leaves turn to gold, Phoenix Ancient Town seems to slip into a new robe of sunlight, and in that gentle glow, the entire town awakens from a long silent dream, becoming softer, quieter, and impossibly beautiful. Its charm lies not in one single thing, but in the harmony between nature, ancient wooden homes, weathered stone bridges, and time-worn streets that have seen the passing of centuries. This perfect blend makes it one of the most enchanting destinations in all of China. But perhaps what gives Phoenix its true soul is a legend passed down through generations. They say the town was named Phoenix because this sacred bird, symbol of peace and fortune, often flew over the skies here, blessing the land with harmony and prosperity. And even now, the locals believe that whenever the phoenix appears, peace returns and the earth breathes easier. The legend wraps around the town like morning mist, adding a quiet mystique to every corner, making each step through this ancient place feel like walking through a dream long remembered. This perfect harmony between nature and culture makes it a dream destination for those seeking both peace and depth. Wangyan Valley, long celebrated for its quiet and mysterious beauty, feels like a place where legends still breathe. The name Wangyan means gazing at immortals and recalls ancient tales where wise spirits would appear in the early morning mist. The valley is cradled by winding limestone mountains, clear flowing streams, and lush green forests, all wrapped in cool air and soft mist that kisses the earth at dawn. The structures scattered throughout the valley, resting pavilions, viewing platforms, and stone paths, are all built from natural wood and stone in a classic style that blends effortlessly into the landscape. Each season dresses the valley in a different robe, from the blooming colours of spring to the golden hush of autumn leaves. And in that slow transformation, time itself seems to pause, allowing the heart to settle, in a place that feels untouched by the rush of the modern world. Today, Wangyan Valley has become a cherished destination for eco and spiritual travellers, those who seek to relax, to learn, and to find inner balance amidst the chaos of modern life. And now, the journey continues to another hidden treasure within Hunan province, a place where nature still speaks in its original untamed voice. This is Langshan, a region of strange and dramatic limestone terrain, where towering cliffs and razor-sharp peaks pierce the sky like ancient stone sentinels. Spanning over 116 square miles, this area is a harmonious blend of soaring mountains, cascading waterfalls, and lush green forests. Forest trails weave through the landscape, guiding visitors higher and higher until they reach vantage points where the world opens up beneath their feet and silence becomes breathtaking. What sets Langshan apart are its bizarre limestone formations, sculpted by time and wind over millions of years, shaped not by man, but by the patient hands of the earth itself, as if nature once paused here and left behind its most curious and mystical designs. Shaped by millions of years of erosion, the strange and mesmerizing formations of Langshan stand as nature's own sacred carvings. But beyond its breathtaking forms, Langshan holds deep cultural and spiritual meaning. It is considered a sacred site, home to many ancient temples nestled among the cliffs, each one whispering centuries of devotion. The mountain is steeped in legends and historic tales, etched into the collective memory of Chinese culture. The temples and age-old ruins here are not only places of worship, but also sanctuaries for those seeking peace and a deeper connection to the past. In Langshan, natural grandeur meets spiritual stillness, where towering peaks bow in reverence to ancient stone altars. And as the trail winds on, we follow the river's quiet current until we reach a place where faith and artistry are carved into stone. This is the Longmen Grottos, one of China's greatest sites of Buddhist sculpture. Set along towering cliffs beside the river, here thousands of Buddha statues are carved directly into the rock, forming a timeless masterpiece, where stone becomes prayer and sculpture becomes meditation. Carved into towering cliffs, the Buddha statues at Longmen Grottos stand in quiet majesty, Some over 55 feet tall, each face and hand radiating peace. When sunlight hits, their shadows stretch across the stone, as if time stands still. Here, mountains, rivers, and sacred architecture blend in perfect harmony. Below, the winding river reflects the solemn beauty of the ancient caves. Inside, it's cool and silent. Only wind and water remain, like nature's quiet prayer. These sculptures were carved from pure faith, shaped by the hands of ancient devotion. If you were standing here, would you feel awe or stillness? Do you believe stone can carry spirit? More than 1,000 years ago, this sacred site was chosen as a Buddhist center, meant to symbolize divine protection over the empire and its people. Emperors of the Tang and Northern Wei dynasties commissioned these magnificent statues, hoping to bring peace and prosperity to the nation. For the Chinese people, this is not just an artistic marvel, but a sacred bridge between humanity and the divine. Even today, Longmen Grottoes remains a place of pilgrimage, where people come to pray, reflect, and seek calm in the arms of nature's majesty. Do you believe a single statue can carry the weight of a civilization? What belief would you carve in stone to last 1,000 years? If you're still here, perhaps you've already heard something. Leave a comment and subscribe to hear what comes next. And now, the journey shifts to a very different kind of wonder. Raw, wild, thunderous, yet just as awe-inspiring. This is Huku Waterfall, set along the mighty Yellow River, one of the most famous waterfalls in China. At nearly 98 feet wide and 66 feet high, its crashing torrent creates a roaring curtain of white water, colliding with rocks in a spectacular display of power. Surrounded by jagged cliffs and steep banks, this waterfall feels like the voice of the earth itself, shouting through stone and spray. The roaring river crashes down into the rocks below, creating a landscape both majestic and primeval, like the ancient voice of the earth itself. During the rainy season, water levels rise, forming a massive vertical column that makes Huku Waterfall even more intense, more alive. The sheer force and energy of the scene make it a dream for nature lovers, drawn to wild and untamed beauty. But visitors here don't just witness one of the most beautiful waterfalls in the world. They are invited into something deeper, something mystical. A spiritual stillness hidden beneath the roar. This place is wrapped in legend, woven into the fabric of Chinese culture. One tale tells of a water god born right here, a divine being with the power to command rivers and control the flow of life itself. If you stood before this thundering wall of water, would you feel small or part of something far greater than yourself? Do you believe there's a place where even the rocks can tell stories? This isn't just a waterfall, it's where nature's beauty meets the sacred pulse of ancient traditions. Stories passed down for generations breathe life into the mist, making this more than a destination. It's a journey of the soul. Wulingyuan, just 31 miles from Zhangjiajie in Hunan, China, is famed for its towering sandstone pillars, some rising over 1,000 feet. Strange, majestic. They form mountains like nowhere else on earth, as if carved by gods, not by time, but the stones are only the beginning. Waterfalls tumble like silk from the skies. Ancient forests whisper in green. Deep gorges echo with mystery. Wild, untamed, and yet vividly alive, like nature calling softly to those who dare to pause. The scenery dances with the seasons. Spring wraps the land in cool air and tender green. Autumn ignites it in gold and crimson, like a fire that fades slowly, proudly. Which would you choose? The soft breath of spring, or the blazing farewell of fall? Here, world-famous glass bridges stretch across the sky, including the longest glass bridge on Earth. An exhilarating experience that leaves your heart racing as you walk with trembling feet and eyes wide open, soaking in the breathtaking view far below. This land wasn't granted UNESCO World Heritage status by accident. It holds geological and biological treasures, a living book carved by millions of years of Earth's memory. Preserving this area is not only about saving biodiversity, but also about understanding the hidden forces that shaped the mountains beneath our feet, and deeper still. This place is home to ethnic minorities whose lives flow with the land. Their culture lingers in rituals, dances, stories passed down for centuries, revealing a sacred bond between human and nature. Have you ever walked on air while still feeling the ground trembling beneath you? The Yandang Mountains, among China's most awe-inspiring natural wonders, lie in Jiang Province. Born from volcanic fury millions of years ago, the region is famed for its towering cliffs, mighty waterfalls, and peaks that rise like ancient sentinels reaching for the sky. Would you dare walk the sky bridge? Or would you rather stand still and listen to the stone's story of time? Pillars reaching the sky, like giant fingers of the earth stretching into the unknown. It is the perfect destination for those who crave to explore and lose themselves in nature's untamed, hypnotic beauty. One of Yandang's most captivating wonders is how the scenery transforms throughout the day. At sunrise, the first rays of golden light slip through the mist, casting a warm glow upon the peaks, painting a scene that feels plucked from a fairy tale. At night, moonlight glides across the cliffs, turning solid stone into shimmering dreams. What would you feel if you stood there? Would you be frozen in awe? Or would your soul burst into song? And then, waterfalls come tumbling down from cliffs hundreds of feet high. Cascading streams of white water dance like ribbons in the air, powerful yet poetic, roaring yet soft, like the voice of the mountains calling out in waves. Yet beyond its majestic beauty lies something deeper. Beneath the ancient rocks and veils of green lives a world of legend. Since ancient times, the Yandang Mountains have been regarded as sacred, a place where monks and sages retreated to find silence, to meditate, to merge with the rhythm of the universe, seeking awakening in the stillness of the soul. According to local legends, on quiet, breathless nights, the mountains seem to whisper. Chanting drifts through the air as if spirits from long ago are speaking, softly passing on ancient wisdom to those willing to listen. Some believe that upon reaching the summit, they feel a strange and sacred force, an energy that silences all thought, bringing a peace so profound it feels like the soul dissolves into the sky. Yandang is not only a masterpiece of nature, it is a spiritual sanctuary, calling out to those in search of serenity and the unseen mysteries that lie hidden in the embrace of the earth. From Yandang, we journey on to another sacred marvel, the Leshan Giant Buddha, scenic area located in Sichuan Province, China. There, carved directly into the cliffside of Mount Leshan, stands a colossal Buddha, 233 feet tall, watching silently over the meeting point of three rivers, the Min, Dadu, and Qingyi. More than an architectural wonder, The statue is a symbol of awakening, of eternal compassion, a Buddha seated in stillness as the currents of the world flow endlessly below. If you're still here, perhaps you've already heard something. Leave a comment and subscribe to hear what comes next. This monumental statue is the largest stone Buddha in the world. A colossal figure carved from the earth itself, as if the mountain chose to become compassion incarnate. Sitting still, yet embracing the entire valley in silence, the landscape surrounding the Leshan giant Buddha is breathtaking. Towering mountains rise like ancient guardians. Lush forests wrap around the cliffs like emerald blankets. All of nature seems to bow in reverence to this seated figure. The Buddha sits in majesty carved into the cliffside, his gaze falling gently upon the winding rivers below, his hands resting calmly on his knees, as if offering protection to the land and waters he watches over. A moment of serenity, where even time seems to pause. If you were standing before this Buddha, what would you pray for? Something for yourself? Or for the world beyond you that never seems to rest? Spring and autumn are the most ideal seasons to visit. When the air is cool, the forests are vibrant, and flowers bloom in gentle waves. The scene becomes a living painting, part reality, part dream. Among the many stories passed down, one shines brightest: the tale of the monk Hai Tong, the man who began the vision of this massive statue. According to legend, Hai Tong was not only a monk, but a soul deeply connected to the earth. Moved by the devastating floods that plagued this area, threatening boats and lives alike, he vowed to carve a Buddha into the cliff, not for glory, but to calm the wrath of the river, to soothe the storms, and to bring peace to the hearts of all who sailed below. This story of Hai Tong, the visionary behind the giant Buddha, is not just a beautiful legend, but a deeply humanitarian act. And over the centuries, that immense figure has stood not merely as a statue, but as a symbol of protection and of peace. From Leshan, we travel to yet another sacred marvel, where art, faith and stone converge in harmony. The Yungan Grotto, located in Shanxi Province, China. Carved into the towering cliffs of Wuhu Mountain, the Yungan Grotto houses more than 53 caves, containing over 51,000 Buddha statues and carvings, an almost unimaginable number. And yet, here it is, silent, still, yet so full of presence. From tiny figures small enough to fit in your hand, to monumental statues towering up to 56 feet tall. Each piece plays its part in a grand, stone-carved symphony. Every sculpture holds a soul, each chisel mark breathing life into the stone, blending Chinese grace with Indian curves and Central Asian form. A cultural fusion that doesn't erase identity, it magnifies it. Can you imagine the devotion it took for ancient artists to carve their dreams, stroke by stroke, into the mountain's skin? Would you be able to dedicate your life to etching your spirit into stone? And it's not only the carvings that inspire awe, but the world around them as well. The grotto is nestled within mighty cliffs, a mysterious, solemn environment where nature seems to wrap its arms around these sacred caves, as if to protect them, to preserve them, to echo their whispered stories across time. Do you believe that a lifeless cliff can become a sacred home for thousands of souls? Do you believe that human faith can be carved into stone and live on for thousands of years? This space, doesn't just highlight the beauty of sacred sculptures. It stops you in your tracks, fills you with stillness, with reverence, as if time itself were bowing in silence. During the Northern Wei dynasty, this place was a major Buddhist center, where countless devotees made long pilgrimages to worship, to meditate, to reach a kind of awakening far beyond what eyes can see or ears can hear. Inside these ancient caves lies a world of living stone, reliefs that tell the story of the Buddha's life. Celestial beings frozen in time, bodhisattvas staring directly into your soul across the centuries. The creation of these caves was not only for rituals, but a statement that Buddhism had taken root, had spread, and had merged with the ancient soul of China. What do you think? Would you be willing to spend your entire life carving a single belief into the mountain? Leave a comment if you believe that some truths are older and stronger than humanity itself. And then, from spiritual silence, we return to nature's whispers, where every mountain, every gust of wind, seems to recite its own secret sutra. This is Shennongjia, a pristine ecological paradise tucked in Hubei province, China. Here, the majestic and the mystical collide. Towering mountains reach up to 1,000 feet, wrapped in ancient, untouched forests. The air is cool and crisp year-round, like the Earth's very first breath. Crystal clear streams wind through the wilderness. Waterfalls crash from high cliffs like nature's voice in motion. Together, they form a symphony, pure and untamed. Have you ever visited a place so quiet, so alive, that it made you stop, take a deep breath, and simply listen to the forest breathe? If so, share your story in the comments. Let the world know that sacred beauty still exists, hidden in the folds of this living planet. Shennongjia holds a beauty that is both grand and mysterious, as if every tree, every shadow whispers a story left untold. It's home to rare species like pandas and golden snub-nosed monkeys, creatures slowly disappearing from the rest of the world, yet still protected here. What makes this place truly special are the hidden trails that wind through untouched forests. No signs, no crowds, just your footsteps and the sound of the forest breathing. Have you ever stood deep in the woods and felt so small you could melt into the wilderness itself? Shennongjia's beauty is more than natural. It carries deep cultural and spiritual meaning that has endured for generations. This land is wrapped in ancient legends, the most famous, the story of the snowman, a mysterious creature said to dwell deep in the forest shadows. Locals believe this is a place where deities live, where guardian spirits watch over the mountains and silently protect the peace of the people. Do you believe that some places are so sacred, even nature itself becomes divine? Some places are more than just locations. They are whispers from the past, from stone Buddhas frozen in time, to forests where legends still breathe. Everything we've seen so far feels like a trail leading us towards something greater, something hidden or forgotten, or perhaps still alive, in a form we've yet to recognize. The question is no longer how much do we know, but rather how much is still waiting, in silence, to be told. In part 2, we'll go deeper, to places even maps dare not name, to ruins no one dares touch, to unexplained phenomena, and to spirits that may still be guarding the final memories of Earth. Are you ready? Drop a comment if you're coming with us into the next chapter, and stay close. because part 2 will chill you. Far more than anything you've seen so far.